Let's see what's going on with the 61 today. So originally I bought this kit that comes with this 3/8 brake line, and then it come with this flare kit, and this is what I've had happen. I felt like I messed up there and I should have had quarter inch line, so I ordered quarter inch line also. So I have both. I do want to go quarter for the rear, at least going back to the axle. From if I dropped down in like the center of the axle and then went 3/16 from there, you know, a splitter block there, a T, and go 3/16 over to either side, I think that would be okay. I also got this proportioning valve, and I thought that this had an adjustment on it, but I get it and it doesn't, so I don't know if that's I don't know if I need one with an adjustment. I got disc in the rear, disc in the front, so, and that proportioning valve is set up for disc brakes front and rear. I'm probably gonna make a bracket just to, you know, bolt a bracket onto here so that the proportioning valve is mounted right there, so it's easy to get to. That's what's going on. Well, right now I'm trying to figure out a way to make a bracket. There's this bracket right here had some, I think it was just little wires that were on it. I can't quite remember. This is the booster and the master cylinder off the Crown Vic. So what I'm thinking is I'll get something that can go over top of these two. There's this one on this side, this one on this side, and then cut it so that it just kind of drops down and then bends back this way. And I think it'd be cool if I could get that thing to sit right there, right underneath the master cylinder. We'll play around with this a little more. I got, just looking over the pieces of metal that I have. Here's the piece that I cut out. And I got this piece to this point right here, which this comes up too high, so I need it to come out down here. So I need this to be down here like that, and that'd be good. Actually, it's backwards. It'd be like that down in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this off, and I'm gonna turn, probably flop this or something, and then weld this end back onto here, so this is coming out straight, but down here a little bit lower. It's been a couple days since I was out here, and I was working on this piece for this proportioning valve. So I'm going to get back on that right now. I'm gonna get this back up on the wheels. Obviously, I have to do that in order to get the brake lines ran, because I can't crawl underneath it. And there's just a couple other things that I want to try to get done. So that's where I'm at today. I just tapped this, and so I just want to look at it, see how I'm gonna still need to do some shaping, but I think that's gonna work for me. Here it is, and it was really flimsy. That's shaking because I need to solid bolt to the firewall, and I need to beef up the firewall so that doesn't do that. But this was shaking up and down, so I decided I'd put me a brace right here. So I built this little brace. I gotta clean it up and everything, and then I'm gonna paint this bracket, paint the that brace. That thing took me way too long. The booster and the master cylinder and that proportioning valve are all together right there. They're kind of standalone-ish. I like it. I like the way it turned out, but it did take me longer than it would have just drilling a couple holes, bolting it in. But it looks good, so I'm gonna pull it back off. Just got it mocked up right now. I'm gonna pull it off, clean it up, and then paint it all, and that's ready to go. And then I gotta do some practicing on flaring those brake lines. Alright, I have practiced put this thing in my little vise, and I practiced, and I watched a little tutorial, and this is what I've come up with so far. This is the double flare, and that one looks pretty good to me. It was like my 4th attempt. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna do one more practice. I cut one more short piece. You know, I've just been cutting like a 2-inch piece and trying it. And if I can do that 2 more times where it looks like that one, I'm gonna be good with it. Anyway, let me see if I can get it to focus on it. Will it focus? Yeah, anyway, I'm going to try 2 more times, and then I think I'm going to be comfortable to try to actually do a line. So we'll see. Alright, this is going to be my final practice run. This is my last practice piece. Looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna practice one more time and see how well I do for consistency. The tutorial that I watched, the guy said to like chamfer around this edge, but he's saying put this thing sticking out so that it's the same height as this guy, and then get this in there, which when you cut it, it seems that it kind of squishes it down, so it takes a little bit to get that down in there, but once you get it in, it's like it goes in decent. The other trick he said was to take brake fluid and just, whoops, that was way too much. The only thing you should be lubing your brake lines with is brake fluid. That makes total sense to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and relay that to you. Anyway, get this on here. Now I'm just gonna crank this down till that seats out, which right there. Back that out. Loosen this up. Pull that off. Now this time I'm going to set that right with the top of that. Clamp that down in it. And I'm just going to go till I feel it hit the flange of this tool, because right now it hit, and then if I go anymore, I'm just going to squish the brake line. I've been able to feel it on all these tests. That when I broke that tool, I think I was putting a little too much on it. So there's that one, and that one doesn't look real good. I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera, hopefully you can, but like this side looks to be poking out more than this side. The double flare doesn't look too bad, but it's not. Whereas this one looks real nice, but I didn't actually rotate this one. You can see the little groove in it still, but this one really looked nice. So I am very possibly early on this right here, because the paint is still yet a little tacky. However, I am getting anxious and don't want to wait any longer, because I want to get the brake lines figured up and bent up and such that go from the master cylinder to this proportioning valve. I had remembered that I had dropped a bolt down there and I hadn't fished it out yet, so I needed to go back to the shop and get another one. This truck is too low for me to crawl underneath there. All right, let's see here. Okay. I also think that I need to bring either another wrench or, yeah, I need another wrench. Hopefully this works out. I got a lot of time into this little bracket. This is the line from the Crown Vic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use these two lines. I'll cut them and get it thread back in there. There it goes. So I'm going to need to bend this. I'll 90 it, come up here, bend it. It's got to go into this top back on the block. And then this one needs to do the same thing, needs to bend, come up, bend again, and then goes into the top on the front. So what I'm hoping is that I have enough here that I can bend this, get it up to this point, and then I'll cut it, flare it, put it, cut it, put the nut on, and then flare it, and then I'll have that. So what I'm trying to do is just get this upper section taken care of. Here's what I got thus far, and I'm not terribly happy with it because I couldn't straighten out what was already there from the Crown Vic, and so I just kind of had to bend it best I could and get it to go. So what I might do is I might actually wind up cutting down here somewhere and coupling, and then making my own. It comes up, especially with this one. That back one I think I'm happy with, but this front one I don't really like the way it turned out. But for right now, that's going to be okay. I think the next thing that I'm going to do is try to get this truck lifted back up and put on those wheels. It's all the way down. You know, you guys have been seeing it. It's all the way down on the ground still. But I need to be able to crawl under it and all that stuff. So I think right now I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna get it lifted up, get the front and the rear put back on those wheels so that I'm elevated and I can crawl underneath it and get the brake lines to, you know, the length of this thing. So that's what I'm gonna get after right now. I think that's gonna do it for this week's video. I got this truck back up on those wheels so that I can crawl under there. I got under there and pulled out the last of the old brake lines. I cut the old brake line when I was pulling the old front end out from underneath it. I cut the brake line, and then same thing in the rear. So my plan was to go back with new line for the length of the frame and then across the back of the rear end, and whatever little bit I need right here from the proportioning valve down to the front brakes. So I didn't get any of the, obviously I didn't get any of the brakes ran, the brake lines ran going to the back. I just did what you saw this little bit. But that pretty much, that's gonna be it for this week. It's Monday afternoon now, and so I need to edit something up and get something going. That's what's gonna be happening for next week. That's just what I'm doing right now. I know I've heard other YouTubers say that they don't want to bore you with brake lines, and I don't want to bore you with brake lines, but that's what I'm doing. So I guess you're gonna be bored. At any rate, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing, share it. All those things really helps out. As always, have a blessed week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.